All right, no opening for this video. This is too important of a topic. You guys have asked me long enough. We're under 2 weeks away from DC Fandom, so I felt I should do this for you guys. We should talk about this. And really, it's quite simple, at least in my opinion, as to where this thing lands. But Injustice 3, right? Will it be shown at DC Fandom? There's only, again, a couple of ways this goes. So is it Injustice 3? Is that what NetherRealm is making? If it is, the answer is yes. Is NetherRealm making Mortal Kombat? Is Mortal Kombat 12 the next game they're making? If it's yes, then the answer is no. It will not be shown at DC Fandom. If it is a Marvel fighting game, which has been talked about but has really, I think, been dialed back massively over the last several months, if it's that, would they show a Marvel, think about it, guys, would they show a Marvel game at DC Fandom? The answer is no. So there's only 1 out of 3 options. Now, there is no 4th option, right? Are they making, well, I guess you could say, are they making anything else? Well, if they are making anything else, it's the same as Mortal Kombat and a Marvel game. If they're making nothing, well, that doesn't really make much sense. Otherwise, we should be pretty concerned. So that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? I think, you know, I want Injustice. You know, I think maybe some of the times I talk about it, maybe it comes off the wrong way to people. I do want Injustice 3. I think they're, I don't know, the longer I spend on the internet, the more I see that there seems to be a bigger divide in the Injustice community of actual people that like it and actually downright hate the games than I thought there were. I thought it was more universally loved than I think it actually really is. But I'm a big fan. I'm not a, well, I don't know. I would say I'm a fan. I don't know if I'm a huge fan. It's mainly because I suck at the fighting games. I mean, if you guys have watched some of the live streams I've played Mortal Kombat, I couldn't be worse. So, I mean, you can only go so far with games like that, or at least I can. I want it, but it really seems like it's Mortal Kombat that they're making. You know, we've heard rumors. It really is just what rumor you want to believe. I'd say the most reasonable rumors and the rumors from the most trusted of people. Now, look, I'm the last person that'll tell you to trust anybody in the gaming media, and insiders / leakers, some of them are part of the gaming media, in which case, again, obviously I don't like them. And so, you know, I'm not going to say, you know, just bow down to them and accept whatever they tell you, but it does seem like most of them have said, you know, or I guess not like number 1, it's not Injustice 3, it's Mortal Kombat. The reasoning is because Injustice is tied up in the DC license, which is being, you know, moved over, and we don't know about behind-the-scenes sales, and it's just probably easier all the way around to focus on something not attached. And I guess and I've never really fully understood that, and I'm not going to lie and say, like, I know the intricacies. I don't know how the licenses work. I don't know why they're allowed. I assume, like, does NetherRealm own Mortal Kombat? It's not WB Games that owns Mortal Kombat, so like, I don't actually know. So maybe it's just easier for them to make that game. I don't like the idea of back-to-back Mortal Kombat games. I think that's kind of stupid. I think, you know, well, we've kind of gotten that throughout all of history. You know, it would be also pretty stupid to not acknowledge that really that's how it was for a long time. But then obviously recently we've had Mortal Kombat Injustice, Mortal Kombat Injustice 2, Mortal Kombat, hopefully, Injustice 3, right? So I don't love the idea of back-to-back Mortal Kombat games. Ed Boon is a very hard man to read on Twitter. He has said stuff that maybe gets people thinking it's a Marvel thing, right? Because he has actually kind of hinted at that before, but he could be trolling. He also recently really liked, I think, a fan concept, you know, image or poster on Mortal Kombat 12. So again, is that trolling? Does he know that we're talking about it? Or, you know, again, is that kind of a hint at what they're doing? So, I don't know. I want it to be real. I really would say, though, going into DC Fandom, I don't know. Well, I don't think we knew this stuff this time last year in terms of like where they'd be at. I think actually maybe we thought it was possible last DC Fandom that they could show their thing. The thing is, I do think whatever next game they're working on will be released next year. In fact, remember, they normally do it every 2 years. They skipped, so this upcoming, I don't know, February, March, April, that kind of period, it'll actually be 3 years since the last game that they made. So I do think that's when it's going to come out, and I do think probably, well, if it's not Injustice and it's something else, I feel like the Game Awards is probably where they would show something like that off. So I don't think we have long to wait on the next NetherRealm game, but I'm going to say, going into DC Fandom, there's a reason why I've only really been talking about Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad. That's what it was last year. I really think, what a world it would be if we could just get more. You see Marvel, and I think people are jealous, and honestly, maybe we kind of should be if we are into which I'm not. I hate the stupid fighting and the console wars and the Marvel versus DC wars, but I can understand fighting in that you see Marvel, and sure, their games are not all gems, but they're just handing them out like they're candy, and you're going to get a lot of games, you're going to get a lot of announcements, and they're not going to stop at what we've seen so far. The rumors of Insomniac, there's probably a Daredevil game, all this stuff. I mean, there's a lot of games Marvel's doing. DC, it's a good, am I happy that we get to talk about Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad? Yeah, but wouldn't it be nice if DC was able to do kind of the same thing where we just kind of had games come out, because really we're limited. All we're talking about, which, this video is taking a turn. I want Injustice 3. I want that to be there to make it, a triad, right? 3 different games. I want, maybe not even Injustice 3, but just some random DC game to show up along with, Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad. I really don't think we're going to get it. Could even argue that, and maybe they wouldn't do this. Honestly, I don't even know how they've teased it in the past. I don't really pay attention too much to their marketing them announcing it. But last year, obviously, we knew what we were getting. Suicide Squad was shown or announced, I think, 2 weeks before, maybe more, before DC Fandom last year. Gotham Knights, we had that entire week before, leading up like a detective case. So we knew exactly, what was going to happen. We knew those 2 games were going to be there. There was never a tease for a 3rd game, and we didn't get a 3rd game. This year, we know Suicide Squad, they keep showing. Funny enough, it's kind of the same thing. They're being very loud. Gotham Knights is being quiet. Maybe they speak up a little bit like next week, but we know it's going to be there. Batgirl's even in the poster for DC Fandom. So we know that's there. There has never been a tease, for a 3rd game. And if that stays, I can't imagine they do it. It would be a cool, kind of pull the rug out from under us where we didn't see it coming, but I just don't think it's going to happen. So let me know what you guys think. If they're doing Injustice, you think it's there. If they're doing something else, when do you think we see it? Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow me over on Twitter or subscribe to my 2nd channel or support us through Patreon or YouTube memberships, links are in the description below. The YouTube memberships is that join button next to the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, guys, and I hope to see you all on the next video.